Page 179, we are going to review topic 3. So first of all, we'll look at some vocabulary review. One thing to mention on number 2, actually the answer is not in the word bank, so you will not find the answer for number 2 up there. The others should be good though. So number 1, the blank is the decrease from the original price of an item to its sale price. So since we're talking about a decrease, the price is going down, this would be the markdown. The markdown, it's how much it changed price-wise. Number 2, the accuracy of a measured or estimated value compared to its actual value is described as the, so this would be the percent error. Percent error, we talked about it when we talked about percent change. It was the change compared to the actual. Number 3, an initial amount of money that is deposited in an account is called the, so that would be the principal. Remember, principal could be money that's deposited or invested. It could also be an amount that's borrowed. And then number 4, the blank describes how much a quantity has changed relative to its original amount. And that would be the percent change. Lesson 3.1 was on percents of numbers. So if you look at number 1, they want us to find 0.8% of 1046. Basically what we're going to do here, we're going to change the percent to a decimal. Of means multiply. We're going to multiply it out, and that's going to be our answer. So changing a percent to a decimal, we just move the percent 2 places to the left. So that'd be 8 thousandths times 1046. And if you multiply that out, you get 8 and 368 thousandths. Number 2, they want us to find 160% of 98. So 160%, move your decimal over 2 spots. You can drop off the 0 if you want and multiply that out. Since we're multiplying by more than 100%, we're taking more than 100%, our answer is going to get bigger. And so this ends up as 156 8/10. And number 3, a company charges a shipping fee that is 4.5% of the purchase price. What's the fee to ship an item that costs $56? So we would just need to find 4.5% of $56. And if you multiply that out, that would be $2.52. Make sure you check what they're asking. It says what would be the fee to ship it. So $2.52 would be our shipping charge. If they asked what the total cost would be, we would just add that on to 56, which would be $58.52. Lesson 3.2 is on connecting percent and proportions. So proportions they talked about over here. You can do the part over whole equals whatever your percent is over 100. So if you look at number 1, it says 24 and 94 hundredths is 29% of what number? So if we set up a proportion, first of all, 29% we know is 29 over 100. And then the 24 and 94 hundredths, that's our part. It's the part of something that we're trying to find. So whatever variable you want to put there. We did also talk about writing percent equations. So if you'd rather write this as an equation, you're welcome to do that as well. We'll mention that in just a minute. So we can try and look for a pattern. A lot of times I'll try to do the bigger number divided by the smaller number. So for example, if you go this way, 100 divided by 29 is 3.448275862. This would be going this direction, so that would be multiplying by that. So if we multiply by that number, by the 3.44, I'm sorry, by the 24.94, then you will get 86. There are patterns potentially if you divide 24.94 divided by 29, doing the smaller number divided by the bigger number, you get 0.86. So we could have actually also done, this would have been times 0.86, and then that would have worked out pretty nicely actually. And again, you don't have to do this as a proportion. I'm not going to tell you on the test you have to do a proportion or an equation. If you did an equation, 24.94 means equals 29%. We changed to a decimal. Of means times, and we're trying to find the number. And then they're multiplying so you can divide, and then you can get your answer that way. The nice thing about that is you don't have to rely on there being some kind of a pattern or anything. Proportions, we don't have to rely on patterns either, but we would have to either have a variable in the numerator, or we would have to cross multiply otherwise to solve for that answer. Number 2, on Thursday, a restaurant serves iced tea to 35 of its 140 customers. What percent of the customers order iced tea? So same idea. This time we don't know the percent. We know 35 is the part of the 140 customers, so this could be our proportion if you set it up that way. Or you might just know I need to do 35 divided by 140, get the decimal, and then change that to a percent. So if you do it this way, I guess we could do a pattern. 140 divided by 35 would be 4. So this would be dividing by 4. So that would come out as 25%. Or, like I said, you could do 35 divided by 140 would be 0.25, which would be 25%. Number 3, Liam puts $40 in savings in March and 175% of this amount in savings in April. How much does he put in savings in April? So one way of looking at this, we could say it's 175% of this amount. So in other words, 175% of $40. So we could change the percent to a decimal and multiply. So that comes out to be $70. Again, there's other ways we could do a proportion. We could come up with an equation, but if you want to just work it out this way, that's fine also.